When we were growing microgreens in my garage, our best week was just over $5,000, which meant if we held that rate, we would have been able to do $250,000 out of a 400 square foot garage. These are two things we did to maximize, not optimize, maximize the space for production in that garage. These are standard wire racks from places like Home Depot and Costco, and they come with 6 shelves, but that means you have 5 working shelves or 20 tray spots. The first thing we did was buy more racks just to take the shelves and add a 6th operating shelf, a 7th total shelf, to each of the racks that we already had. All of our racks at that time were on wheels, so the bottom shelf was still 6 inches off the floor, but it gave us 24 spots instead of 20 spots to grow on. At the time, we had 17 or 18 racks in that garage, which meant by doing this, we got the equivalent of having 3 more racks in our farm. Nowadays, a standard aisle in our farm is 36 inches. That's also what's required at a minimum by code. But back in my garage, we had to narrow the aisles as much as possible, in which case sometimes they were barely wider than my shoulders, which meant we had to turn sideways in order to shuffle down the aisles. And in the most severe case, we used our middle aisle, which was naturally a little bit wider than the other 2, and we put another row, 3 racks deep, in that aisle, all of which are on wheels and all strung up together in a sequence of lights. And every day when we wanted to water this rack system, we would take that row of racks and we would shift it to the other side so we could shimmy down this aisle and water this row of racks. And then we would take the same row and shift it back this way so that we could access this side of the rack. And doing that gave us an additional 3 racks on our farm. Between the additional shelves, the narrow aisle, and the additional row of racks that was shifted left and right every day to access the other racks around it, we were able to add the equivalent of 6 more full racks into our farm.